Like when I talk about having no money, I used to have to cut my hair in the mirror multiple times with scissors out of my backpack because my hair would be so long and I'd mess up my hair and kids would make fun of me. I want to help agencies make money. And the more that I can help other people make money, I'll make money. The more I can help other people grow their businesses, my business will grow. One of the things that when I was growing up, man, that I promised to myself, I was like, I never let money control me. I will always control money. It will never control me.
Hey, and welcome to the next episode of the Millionaire's Journey podcast. Today's guest isn't only really amazing to listen to, but this episode could change your life. I'm sure of that, because today's guest is Jacob Bowman. Jacob will give us an insight in his life and long-term plans as sales consultant and entrepreneur. Everything in life is about sales. If you go on a date, you try to sell yourself. If you book an Airbnb, you try to sell yourself to be the one to stay in the house or flat. And of course, if you have a product or service you're trying to sell. So wherever you are in life right now and whatever your goals are, this episode is perfect for you. Apart from great tips on how to sell, we will of course have a deep dive into Jacob's financial situation and analyze how much he earns right now, where he spends his money, and most importantly, how this all contributes to him becoming a millionaire. Enjoy the episode. Hey Jacob, welcome to the Millionaire's Journey. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Been motivated today and have been really looking forward to get into this and recording this.
Yeah.
So, you're a sales professional, right? So, could you just explain what you do and what you've been doing throughout your life?
Yeah, definitely. So, I hate I don't, I'll never call myself a professional. I think that's corny. I would just say I'm in sales, I'm in business. Like this is what I do. Um, I guess where it started is I started off selling tires when I was like 17 years old. Started off working at a tire shop. I did that for maybe 4 years or so, 3, 4 years, maybe 5 years. And then I transitioned into software sales because I just saw more of a future with software, especially because like SaaS was just becoming kind of like a more popular term, a more popular thing. People were turning more from having like downloading files to just kind of accessing everything online. So I saw like a huge potential with that. So I switched over to SaaS sales. I did a SaaS that was used by government entities in the US. So like city government, state government, county government, stuff like that. It was like a records management SaaS, which was tons of experience, tons of learning. Transitioned into cybersecurity and sold cybersecurity software, which was really fun. Ended up moving up to a sales coaching role where I actually ran a team of over 60 different sales reps there, doing sales coaching for them and working with different directors and VPs and all that stuff. That was a super fun experience, tons of valuable information, and then kind of realizing that spending so much time in sales that I've developed over the years that I can take this skill set I've learned and teach it to other people, and that's where scale my agency kind of launched. Fast forward, I mean that's a very high level overview. There's obviously a lot of stuff that's happened in the middle, but that's high level overview of where I'm at now.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Could you just dive a bit deeper into the cybersecurity? Like, I know what cybersecurity is, but I can't really imagine your role. Could you just tell me what you actually did? What was your day to day?
Yeah, so I did account management, and this was during COVID. This was when jobs were super hard to find. So I, kind of had to find what I could at the time, and there were not a lot of companies hiring SaaS sales during COVID. It was definitely a really hard industry to get into. However, on the flip side, during COVID, cyber attacks, phishing, scamming, all that stuff was at an all-time high. I mean, it was like skyrocketing. So I ended up looking for like the top companies to work for in Florida, which is where I am. I ended up looking at different SaaS companies, looked at all this stuff. Ended up applying and got an interview within a week of applying, which was huge. and accepted an account management role. And so, pretty much for everyone out there who doesn't know what account management is when you are running existing business. So with certain SaaS companies, people are paying either per month or per year, depending on the size of the client and depending on how the software set up, their subscription services are set up, all that stuff. Um, this so happened to be a SaaS that did like yearly annual payments, and it was for, it was B2B. And you need account managers to go in there and manage those relationships with the clients to make sure that you don't have a high churn rate. You're not losing a lot of clients, that the clients are getting the most out of your software, because these clients can be paying anywhere between, a couple $1,000s a year to millions of dollars a year. Just depends on where
Yeah.
you're at. So you have to manage it. You have to make sure that they renew. You have to make sure that you don't lose them out to a competitor. I mean, it's sales, but it's also kind of knowing some of the back end stuff. So that was the position that I took. Um, I ended up doing account management there for a year. I was really crushing it in that position. I think I had only missed quota like once, like 1 month. All the
Yeah.
other months, I was like crushing it. Loved my team I was on, and then there was a position that had opened up to be a sales coach for a position that I had never even worked in. It was another sales position, but I'd never worked in that specific position. I ended up applying for it and got promoted, and got the position and ended up loving it and went straight into sales coaching. And I know sales coaching is kind of like not so much a normal role for a company. So I'll explain a little bit about what that position entails. I give a little bit of a high level overview, but pretty much
Yeah.
think of having 50 or 60 different sales reps that work inside of a department, right? And all of those sales reps, they have their own bosses, they have their own directors, their managers, stuff like that. However, their managers are more managing their employees, right? They're not so much
Yeah.
working on the skill sets of sales with them 24/7. That's not what they're there for. So, what a sales coach would do is a sales coach would come in and work with the sales reps, the managers, and the directors and the VPs of that department and figure out where is there a lack of performance, where is like who's doing good, who's doing bad, who's not hitting quota, who is hitting quota, why are they not hitting quota, why are we losing money in certain places, and then build out trainings and have one-on-one meetings, and just it was like a huge system that they had built out. And the coach would just go in and really help find like polish and fine tune that area and really help just drive more revenue, drive more money, work with these people and train them up to be, beasts in their roles and in their calls.
Yeah. So you have never been training people before, have you? So that was the first time being a teacher, or did that apply somewhere else in your life as well before?
I had definitely trained people in the past. Like even when I was at the tire shop, I was a assistant manager there, and I had worked with people on training them on different things. Even when I worked at the first SaaS company, I had trained people on cold calling, cold emailing, stuff like that. So I had experience training. I'd say that was the most in-depth role I had to training in terms of like really knowing how a business like this works in and out and how they grow and like, how millions of dollars are ran every single month and how competitors are and all that stuff. Because, like some of their biggest competitors are like Microsoft and stuff like that, like,
Crazy.
multi-billion dollar companies. So, um, just learning the ins and outs of this business and of these sales reps and of these positions and the hierarchy and all that stuff was, extremely valuable.
Yeah, so you basically already started learning in the entire store. So you learned the fundamentals of sales already there.
Yeah. So with the tire shop, it was people walking in, and what your job was to do was to upsell them. So some people, I'll give you a great example. Some people come in, they have a flat tire,
Yeah.
and they're not in the business of purchasing tires or rims or any other services. Your job is to ethically, definitely like don't sell someone. And this is a message to anyone who's in sales. Don't sell something to someone that they just really don't need. It's completely unethical, right? Now, obviously there's things out there like sports car. Like, does anyone need a Lamborghini? No. Like, in that industry for sure, you're probably selling something to someone that they don't need. But in the tire world, um, if I were to walk out to your car and look at your flat tire, and then I can see like all three of the other tires are like nearing the end of their life, I'm
Hmm.
gonna try and sell you a set of four tires for $1,000. However, if all of those other three tires are in perfect condition, there's nothing wrong with them, you don't have any issues, and they have great tread on them, I'm not going to sit there and try and sell you all four tires, but I could possibly be like, hey, some new rims on this car would look great. So there's just different aspects and different things on what you would sell. So it was, people obviously coming in and also calling in and trying to get them to actually come into the shops where you could sell them.
Hmm.
People call around a lot. They'll call five, six, seven, eight different tire shops, so getting them into yours instead of someone else's. So it was a lot of like face to face, over the phone, negotiating and selling and pitching and all that stuff. The cold calling, like cold outreach lead generation, didn't necessarily come into play until I went into my first SaaS role.
Okay, yeah. But so basically, selling doesn't really mean try to sell the thing that you have with the most power that you can, but also to identify what can you sell, what makes sense to sell. Not try to sell like you could always try to sell for new tires, but it doesn't always make sense, right?
Yeah, it's like, have you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, have you ever seen the Sell Me This Pen?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's actually a great example. if if you point to me and say, "Sell me this pen," right? And I grab the pen and we're looking at each other face to face,
yeah,
and I say, "Hey, Chris, um, are you in the market for a pen?" And you say, "No, I've got four in my back pocket." I'm like, "Okay, are they all performing the way you want them to perform?" Yes, they are. How do you feel about the pens that you currently have in your back pocket? Oh, they're all working great. I don't even need a pen. I'm not going to sell it to you. What's the
yeah,
point of me trying to sell you a pen that you don't need when you've got three or four others? However, if I say, "Hey, Chris, um, or- you know, are you in the market for a pen?" You're like, "Yes, I have a lot of notes I need to write down. I have schoolwork I got to do, and I don't have any pen." I can now sell you a pen because you have a pain point I'm solving,
facts. Yeah,
right? So that's a great example to use. That like, if you approach someone, they have no need for your services at all whatsoever under any circumstance. All the effort that you're going to put into trying to sell them on something, one, they're not going to stick around and keep doing business with you afterwards, and then two, it's like, what's the point? You're spending all this time and all this effort when you could go close, five other people who actually do need your services or your product.
yeah, yeah. Just to get it relatable to some people that have no idea about sales, in the intro, I mentioned you try to sell yourself everywhere in life. Basically, if you, wherever you are, you can sell your products, but you can also sell yourself, let's say, to a girl if you're a man, you know? So you go dating and you try to sell yourself.
Mhm.
So that would be like trying to sell yourself to, if you're the woman, to a man that's gay, you know? So there's no market for it. The person doesn't
Right.
want to be with you. It's like there's a barrier, and it would be the same with the pen. If you already have so many pens, you don't need a pen.
Yeah. I agree completely, and I think that you make a good point where like you're always selling yourself. Like look at Elon Musk, look at Jeff Bezos, look at like these multi-billionaire, top of the world, running multi-billion-dollar companies. Yeah, Elon Musk isn't going out on the lot and selling Teslas to people, but every time that he talks about a Tesla on a video or a podcast or a tweet or something like that, he's selling.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, you're always selling, right? Like you're always like your personality, your charisma, the way that you present yourself to others. If people aren't interested in you as a person, they're not going to want to do business with you. Like it goes back to the old saying, people do business with people, not with businesses. It's true. Like how many people have probably bought a Tesla just because they like Elon Musk?
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. Everyone has seen him. He's big. He's rich. I mean, they're called influencers with a reason, you know. And Elon Musk obviously is an influencer as well, with having the numbers of
Right.
people following him. Okay, so yeah, that also brings me to the next thing. You have been in sales a long time, but where did the entrepreneurial spirit come to play? You know, because I know that you're launching something or have launched it already, and you did sales consulting for agencies before that, right? That was after
Yeah.
the SaaS time.
Yeah.
Yeah, where would you say did your entrepreneur journey start?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd say, I mean, early on, man, because when I was young, I'm talking about young, young, I'm talking like 11, 12, 13 years old. I grew up very not well off. I mean, between my mom, my sister, and I, my mom brought in like $24,000 a year for,
Oh
all
wow.
three of us because my dad passed away when I was young. So we had no money, like zero money. Like when I talk about having no money, I used to have to cut my hair in the mirror multiple times with scissors out of my backpack because my hair would be so long and I'd mess up my hair and kids would make fun of me. Or I would show up
Crazy.
to school with holes in my shoes because my mom couldn't afford to get me new shoes. And like we would, it was crazy. And so I think that, part of that when I was young is I would always try to see how I could make money. Always. Like I would try to see if I could flip candy on a school bus or if I could. I mean, I was just always looking for some way to make money because I had nothing, right? And so when some of my friends were playing Xbox, they're like, "Oh, I got the new Call of Duty." I'd go to my mom and she'd be like, "Nope, can't get it for you. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be a few months."
Oh
You
no, yeah.
know? So I was like, "Okay, how can I make enough money to get this Call of Duty? How can I do
Yeah.
it?" And so you just have to find a way to go out there and make money. So I feel like that's where it started. But in terms of like taking it really, really seriously, like where I'm like, this is going to happen, I would say probably like late teens, early 20s. Like when it could have even been at the tire shop when I saw how much money one of these tire shops could bring in, and I could
Mhm.
see like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, $5 million a month,
Crazy.
right? And I'm only getting paid like $4,000. And I'm like, where's all this money going to?
Yeah.
You know,
It's true,
like
yeah.
where's all this money going to? And then you see the person above you's making more money, and then the person above them's making more money, and then the person above them's making more money, and then it's like, oh, there's a hierarchy system to this. There's a, well, like there's a funnel, right? And so I think like just getting into sales and selling something and then realizing, and this is no dig at any of the companies I've worked for. I love all the companies I work for, but and this goes to really any company out there, but like people who are selling get such a small percentage of what they're actually putting in, right? So if I sell $1 million deal for a company, the chances of me getting more than maybe like a couple $100,000 from that is very slim.
Yeah.
Some companies it's definitely possible, don't get me wrong. Some companies you can definitely make multiple six figures off of that, but it's also like it's not your baby, it's not your company. At any point in time, you can be fired. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter how much money you're making.
Yeah.
They can get rid of you at any point. So when you want to own it completely, like fully, it's yours. You want to run a business. You want to run your own show. And that's just that's that drive that I had. I wanted to own it. I wanted to have it as my own baby. I wanted to build my own legacy.
But you still worked for the companies before you did your own thing.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the reason behind that was because I didn't go to school. I mean, I dropped out of high school in 10th grade.
Yeah.
I don't have any sheet of paper at all whatsoever. I have no credentials for my education. Zero. My credentials is my LinkedIn profile.
That's
Like
crazy,
I
yeah.
don't have anything proving any bit of education. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even like 10th grade and like I dropped out like in the middle of 10th grade. I didn't even finish 10th grade.
crazy.
I had like a 1.2, no, like a 1.4, 1.6 GPA, which is like the bottom 99% of kids in school. Like I just didn't show up, you know. I just did not like school. Since I wasn't educated, I had to find a way to get educated. And for me, getting educated was going out and working for a company and learning how they operate.
Yeah, okay, that makes so much sense. Because like nowadays, I have the feeling that a lot of entrepreneurs they always hear this. You should have bias to action, and it's so right. You should have, but I have a feeling they just start something without acquiring the skill set. They don't know anything. They can't do anything, but
Right.
they don't use the internet to learn it specifically. But they just try to sell their thing. You know, like video editing. Like there's so many people running around having edited a month, and they say they're your video editor. They do it for $2 an hour, whatever, coming from India, whatever. But they haven't really learned it, and it goes into every direction that you can do stuff on the internet. Trying to be an entrepreneur, and I think it's great that people have that bias to action and do it. But I think it's also great to see you. You know, you have been you spent years in those companies actually learning that shit before you did your own thing. You know, did your consulting agencies, and now the new thing.
Yeah, definitely. And like I'm speaking to the younger generation here. Like obviously if you're like 30 years old and you're, you know, working at a Subway or a McDonald's and you're like, I want to start a software tech company, like go transition into a software tech company before you decide to go all in on one. Go see if you even like working there. If you even like go learn how it works. Like the amount of information that you can learn just by working inside of the business and working your way up and like understanding and knowing how it operates and like I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this and that's totally okay. I'm just speaking from my experience. You can get anywhere you want to go inside of a company if you make the right connections within that company. You can go anywhere you want.
Yeah, that's great. And I have to say, I actually really agree with you on that to try things first before you said even all going all in, but even if not going all in, it's valuable to have made the experience first. So because of me, like me and my uncle, we started that company, the food truck, and my uncle had the great idea to start selling great fresh regional soup. So because no one sells you healthy things nowadays, at least not down here in Germany. It's like it's all sausage and fries, you know. So we wanted to do an alternative and have think about it and start it and see how it goes. It's just like a test period for 3 months. But the thing is, I have already worked the Domino's pizza, so I know how it's like to work around with food, sell food, etc. And it's a lot of hard work. But my uncle didn't have any experience there, and so we started this. And it's good because we didn't go all in. Obviously, that was far from all in. We bought a trailer, bought the equipment. He's a good chef, and then we just started cooking and selling the soup. But the things that we really underestimated is the workload, and that it's actually not fun to stand in there and sell the soup. It's not fun, and we're not like someone standing there and selling the soup and that's being paid for it. No, we also, when we get home, we have to wash everything really clean. You have to be super good with the hygiene. You have to watch out that nothing, you don't want to infect all the people that are eating food. They shouldn't get bad food
Right.
and everything. So it's like so much work with all combined with the marketing, the advertising, having the trailer look good, and that all combined is just not what we want to do. And that's what we realized after doing it. But that just applies to something else, like any business as well. Like we could have gone into a company, into a restaurant, whatever, and worked there, and we would have had the experience before. Like you said, I'm pretty sure of that. Because, or even could work at a food truck. So that's the thing. The good thing is we didn't go all in. But that's why I agree with you. If you want to go all in on a business idea, try it first before, having the same thing that we have. You don't want to do it in the end, and you spend all your money already.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look at the track history behind a lot of these big business owners, they have some sort of background most of the time. They have some sort of background in whatever they're launching. They do.
Yeah,
Like they have something. that they've gotten some sort of insight on that's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. I want to go start this kind of business.
Yeah.
If I've worked at a McDonald's, or if I've worked at a restaurant, or if I've worked at a car wash, or I've worked at a hedge fund I mean, like whatever, like, or I did like boat sales, whatever. And one day I'm like, you know what? I like the concept of software. I'm going to go start a software company. But you have no experience in software. You don't know anything about it at all whatsoever. You don't know anything about development. You don't know anything about like structuring it. You don't know anything about like none of that. Go work for a software company for, a year.
Yeah. So
Get in
valuable.
there because you might get in and then you're just like, I thought it was cool, but I don't really think it's going to be that cool anymore. I'm going to go do this instead, right? Because if you go all in on something, and I'm like, there's going to be struggles,
Yeah.
whether it's financially, whether it's within your relationship, whether it's whatever. There's going to be struggles of going all in on something, and it is very tough getting over some of those struggles and pushing through it and staying consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. If you go all in, you have to basically make it work as well because it's all in, right?
Yeah.
So the all in brings me to the next thing. So you launched your Scale My Agency um,
Yeah.
training program. How much money and time did it take for you to do this? And just walk us through what actually have you been building?
Yeah, so I've definitely gone all in on Scale My Agency. I'm not, I'm definitely not like half-assing it or anything. And this is going to be my primary, business. This is going to be my baby for the next several years. Um, Money-wise, how much I've invested into it, I would say probably around 5 to 10 grand, somewhere around there. When you talk about like everything, like all in all, what it takes to start a business, marketing stuff, software costs, expenses, stuff like that. Definitely between, that $5 to $10,000 mark. Um, and yeah, what it is, I saw there was a huge issue in the marketing agency niche specifically, where a lot of people would sell like BS courses, like total nonsense. Like, oh, buy my course for $1,000 and I'm going to teach you how to make $10,000 in just 30 days. It's like, it's not real. And the same stuff they're selling in these courses is the same stuff that you can find on YouTube.
Yeah.
And this is another point I want to make. There's three different types of learning styles out there. There's hearing something and learning off of it, there's reading something and learning off of it, and then there's being hands-on with something and learning off of it. Most people, when they launch something, especially like an educational type of thing, whether it's a course, a training program, whatever, they only cater to one of those learning styles.
Yeah.
I'm catering Scale My Agency to all three.
Oh, that's
So if
good.
you're a visual learner, you come in, you can visually learn. If you're an audible learner, you come in, watch the videos, listen to the class, whatever. You can, set up a one-on-one time call with me. You can learn audibly. If you're a hands-on learner, share your screen, open it up. Let's do this right now. Boom, 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 boom. I'm catering this program. That's why I call it a hands-on training program, because it's actually hands-on. Is there pre-recorded content and is there pre-written stuff and are there documents and SOPs and stuff like that? 100%. But there's also a lot of hands-on aspects where we're sitting in calls, you're attending classes, you're doing this, you're doing that, and we're working together on your agency, on scaling it, on all the sales aspects for your agency. It's not some purchase it, get an email, click on a link, and then you've got like, a Google Drive with some videos and you just watch it and good luck. It's like, no, I'm actually working with these people one on one, genuinely trying to scale them.
Yeah, and you've done that before, right? That was literally we skipped that a little bit, but that was literally your job after quitting the cyber company, right? The cybersecurity company.
Yeah, so partially. So I actually launched an agency after I left cybersecurity. I launched a video marketing agency. And the reason why that didn't work out was because my business partner and I just we just did not have the same vision. We were just not the same people. Um, and when I say not the same people, I don't mean in terms of like personality and skill set wise, that because definitely your business partner should be the complete opposite of you. I mean, not the same people. We just, the way that we looked at conducting business and how to grow a business were two polar opposite ways. It did not mesh together. He was very anti free work, very anti like doing this stuff, and I was very like free work, free work. Let's grow this. Let's provide value. Let's get clients. Let's get social proof. Let's get all this stuff. Let's just stack undeniable proof and just sell, sell, sell. Definitely didn't look at it that way. So that agency only ran for maybe like 6 or 7 months. Um, we only did maybe, I don't know, 40, $50,000 in sales. So I mean,
Not bad
not
for a
bad.
half year though, for the
Yeah,
first half.
Yeah, not bad for only running for a few months, especially because I took one of those months like pretty much off because I was so frustrated and I was trying to figure things out.
Yeah,
But that's where the sales consulting side came in, where I was already working with a couple of other agencies to generate more money for myself to, um, just to pay the bills and stuff like that. And I was working with a couple of other agencies doing sales consulting for them. And I was seeing tremendous success with those agencies I was working with. They were scaling super aggressively. I mean, we were adding tens of thousands of dollars a month in new sales for their agencies month over month. And so I was like, this is it. This is the idea. Scale my agency. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I've already been, sales coaching for years and training people in sales and doing all this other stuff. Instead of me trying to get into a marketing agency and try to fulfill a specific service like video or I don't know, SEO or web or whatever, why would I not just teach other agency owners who don't know how to sell?
that's true. Yeah, and so you did that, and then you came up with the Scale My Agency. So now everybody
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
how you got
ScaleMyAgency.com.
there. Yes, scaleMyAgency.com. It'll be in the show notes anyway. People can check it out. I really love the website. It looks so good. Just looking at it right now.
Thanks, man.
Um, yeah, really good. So yeah, that's your thing that you really wanna go all in, or you are, and you're doing this now. That's your baby. Um, yeah, so let's take apart your financial situation. Where do you spend your money on right now if you look at it as a pie chart? And before you say that, just tell us like what your income is right now.
So net worth, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I have no clue what my net worth is. I can tell you this: I don't have any debt. I have
That's
zero
good.
debt.
Yeah.
So I'm
But you're not a millionaire yet. That's why you're on the podcast.
right. Yeah, like I'm positive on everything. Like I own my car outright. I don't have like any student loan debt. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have like any of that stuff, right? I don't have any debt. So that's a positive. Net worth is definitely positive. Right now, in terms of income, we're talking around between $5,000 to $6,000 a month pretty consistently. And we're looking at probably scaling that by the end of the year to probably around 20 to $30,000 a month. Pretty positive that we can pull that off.
I mean, that's good.
Um, in terms of financially, when I first quit my position, you quit, you're at zero unless you sell something.
Yeah.
So my first year of entrepreneurship, like, let's just say this, I went from making over $100,000 a year to only making like $40,000 my first year of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like 35, $40,000. I mean, I took pretty much like a 60% hit.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't fun.
I
Um,
can imagine, especially if you're used to it, and then you have to go down your life expenses. They have to go down as well. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it was tough, man. It was really tough. It was really hard, especially with just being able to be financially comfortable and being able to make like, my first six figures and being able to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling good. And then just being like, all right, you've worked so hard to get to this point. Hit the reset button, buddy.
Yeah. Take all the knowledge, but hit reset. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I did, man. And that was a tough pill to swallow. That was really hard. Then, and that's kind of what I was talking about before, how it's very financial stress is very difficult to deal with for most people. It's very difficult. So yeah, it was definitely hard. Fast forward to today, high chart in terms of spending. And I'm gonna have to give my girlfriend credit for this, man, because she's definitely helped me with budgeting and spending and all that stuff. She's a huge blessing. Couldn't be more thankful for her. Pie chart, um, my spending, man, I'm pretty moderate. Like I don't do much. I'm gonna be honest. I go to the gym in the morning, I come back, I work, and that's about it. And me and my girlfriend, we have one date night a week. Like one specific night. Now, there's nights where we might have like 2 or 3 date nights a week, but I don't spend my money on a whole lot. Most of it, I pretty much take 50% of whatever I make, I put it back into the business to scale it and to grow it. Like I'm very aggressive with my spending on the business. I'm very like aggressive with trying to put money back into various different assets, various different investments. Like that website that you're looking at, for example, there's a reason
Yeah,
why it looks so good. There's a reason why the landing pages I have look so good. There's a reason why I'm able to automate a lot of things. There's like a lot of back end stuff that I spend my money on. So like pie chart, I mean, probably, like living expenses, probably around like 20%. Um, I would say like, like bills and stuff like that, like phone bill, insurance, stuff like that, maybe another like, 15, 20%. I don't know. Food. So food is like my favorite thing. I do buy high quality food. I don't buy like I don't buy like processed garbage junk food
that's
that's
good.
super
Yeah,
cheap.
same.
Um, I buy only fresh stuff. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because treating your body well is extremely important, and you don't want to eat garbage.
I
You
mean,
don't
your,
want
your
to
your body is literally made of the stuff that you eat, so it does make
exactly.
sense.
Exactly. Like if you eat like shit, you're gonna feel and perform like shit.
Yeah,
That's just
facts.
how it's gonna be. Like, oh my gosh, I ate 4 cheeseburgers and I feel like crap for the next couple of days. It's like, yeah, you did it to yourself. So I spend a lot of money on food. I'd probably say another probably 20% of that chart, 25% is food because I buy fresh, I buy wild caught. I don't buy anything farmed. I don't buy any bioengineered ingredients. I don't buy anything processed. I don't do any of that. So yeah, I spend a pretty penny on food, and then the rest of it just honestly, man, goes right back into the business.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, I mean, your business obviously is good, but I have a good question that I wrote down. I want to ask you. So, what are your approaches in selling the sales course?
Okay, it's not a course, it's a training. I hate the word course.
Okay. What are your
Um,
approaches in selling the sales training that you have? Like, how do you sell a
yeah,
sales training?
yeah. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward, man. I go to an agency and I say, how many leads do you have coming in? And again, this is like very simple. How many leads do you have coming in? How many of those leads are converting to sales? How many clients do you have on a retainer? What is your offer? I'm figuring out like all of their weak points, like really weak points. And pretty much, take all their weak points, bundle it together, figure out what the top three are, and pitch the sales training program off of that, right? So, for example, if I approach you, Chris, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm only generating 2 leads a month.
Hmm.
And every time I generate a lead, they never close. I'm only working with, maybe I'm only doing like $4,000 or $5,000 a month because I'm only working with like local companies that were referred to me. And I'm afraid of actually losing a couple of those because of this and that. And I spend more of my time, working on fulfilling the services than actually making sales. I'm like, okay, great. Well, why do you not, spend as much time working on sales? Oh, well, I want to outsource it. I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't want to do sales. Okay, great. Which, by the way, to any agency owner listening to this, or really any business owner, not doing sales is the worst thing that you could do for your business. Um, and so, just figure out what their biggest pain points are. So if I come back to you and I'm like, hey, Chris, you're only generating 2 leads right now. We have an entire lead generation, setup. We have an entire training for it. We'll work with you one on one. We'll get you generating, 10 to 15 solid leads per month. What would that do for your business? Wow, well, that would be incredible. 10 to 15 leads a month, that'd be incredible. Hey, great, awesome. Hey, Chris, you also mentioned to me that those 2 leads that you're getting per month right now, you're not able to close them. So when you're getting 10 to 15 consistently per month, we want to make sure that you're able to close the leads that you're getting in. So we're going to have closing training. We're going to have
Crazy, yeah.
this. We're going to have that. And it's the entire pitch is based off of what your issues are, what your problems are.
Yeah. So it's basically a no-brainer then.
Yeah. And it's like it's death to PowerPoints because I see so many people pitch sales stuff on PowerPoints. It's like the way that this program might affect you is different from the way it's going to affect the next 10 people. Your problems as an agency on the sales side could be drastically different from the guy that's sitting right next to you.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, we heard that your income is around 5 to 6 grand a month. So do you have like a 5 or 10 year game plan for your life? And like, how does income play like your personal income play a part in it? And how does your personal development play a part in it as well? I guess you must have like a game plan for the next years.
Yeah, definitely. So, personal plans kind of like I'll talk outside of business. How about I
Yeah,
divide it up into personal and business?
that
Okay,
sounds
cool.
great.
So, personal plans. Number one, I definitely want to be I want to spread, the message of God to others, of Jesus to others. I feel like that's a calling. I feel like that's important. Everyone can use that. Number two, I want to help people who are struggling. I want to help people who come from similar positions as me, right? Maybe they don't have the ability to get good education. Maybe they come from fatherless homes. And if you look at the statistics of the issues that people develop coming from fatherless homes, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah,
So being able to maybe build something out that can help those people that come from similar situations. Really would love to build something out like that. Number three, obviously getting married. Want to marry my girlfriend, possibly this year, if not early next year.
that's awesome.
That's a huge goal. And then obviously when you get married, what's the point of a marriage? It's to have tons of kids. It's to, build a family. So,
Yeah,
maybe enjoy marriage with each other for, 3 to 5 years, and then we start building up a family. And, um, one of the things that I truly admire in people, and I've spoken with all sorts of people. I've spoken with, um, people, fathers specifically who don't make a whole lot of money. I've spoken with fathers who are making millions and millions and millions of dollars every year. Um, One of the biggest things, man, that you can see on how successful a man himself is when you talk to his kids and how they act, you can tell directly, just based off of how his kids act, the direct, reflection of the parenting. And so I want to build a family, man. Like that's the legacy. It doesn't matter what kind of business you build. It doesn't matter like any of that stuff. If you build a family that is a legacy that will be passed down, that builds this entire family tree, that's what people are going to remember you as.
yeah. And
Um,
do you think that yeah, that the mindset basically came after, did money change it? Like, did you have the mindset after you were wealthy enough to, I mean, if you have a few kids right now, you could be there for them. You have enough money for them. So would you say that, especially for you growing up having not that much money, did money enable that for you to be thinking like that, or was that always your dream?
yeah, definitely. Like no one really in my family ever made good money. I don't I think I'm probably the first person in my family to break six figures. Um, I don't think anyone else has come like over maybe like a $60,000 a year mark.
Yeah.
60, 70,000, maybe. Um, I don't think anyone else has broken that. Um, and so to me, it was yeah, definitely money, but growing up, and I have a fairly decently sized family. One of the biggest issues I always saw my family fight over was money.
Yeah.
Always. Always some sort of financial stress, always some sort of financial argument. And one of the things that when I was growing up, man, that I promised to myself, I was like, I never let money control me. I will always control money. It will never control me. And I have to quote Kevin O'Leary, one of the guys off of Shark Tank. One of the things that he says that I actually really like, he says, money doesn't cry over you, so why should you cry over money?
Oh,
And
that's
it's
good.
so
Yeah.
true. It's so true. Like money, like it's an object, right? Like money is
Yeah.
an object, right? It's a piece of paper, it's a number on a screen, it's a currency, it's a coin, it's whatever. It is at the end of the day, it is an object. But it has so much power over it. It has so much influence with it. It has so much control. But how much control it has over you is how much you allow it to have over you.
Yeah.
And I'm just a huge believer, man, that when you do what you're supposed to do in life, when you do what you're supposed to be, like what you're called to do, money will just come with it. Money will come with it, man. Like my mission is to help others. My mission is to impact others. My mission is to, you know, build great businesses and help inspire people and help build people into leaders.
Yeah.
Now, all of that comes with, making obviously like a side effect to that is making money. But the mission isn't I need to make as much money as possible. It's not
Yeah.
because then like what is controlling me? Is it the money that's controlling me? Is that the destiny now? Because if money is the goal, then everyone else is going to be left to the side in the end. And then
Yeah.
the main mission, the main objective, it was never achieved.
Yeah, that's true. So you want to use money to achieve your main objective, but money isn't your main objective.
Right. I think money is a side effect to doing what I want to do, you know? Like look at like Tony Robbins, for example. Look at some of the like look at Eric Thompson, look at some of these like motivational guys. Look at some of these like life coach, career people. Like look at some of these people that are really impacting lives. They're really like Dave Ramsey's a great example. Dave Ramsey is worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars. Dude is has more money than most people could even imagine, right?
Yeah.
But he grew that amount of wealth by selling a workbook, by selling a program, teaching people how to be financially independent, getting them out of debt, getting them to stop going into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, building a podcast, building a personal brand. He's helped people. His main objective wasn't I need to make as much money as possible. His main objective was I need to help as many people as possible get out of debt. And a
Yeah.
side effect to that was becoming a multimillionaire.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, right now you're selling your stuff for agency owners. I guess that's not really the part that you're meaning, but then obviously helping fatherless children, especially in the future, yeah, that will
Yeah,
make a great impact.
yeah, that's definitely a personal goal. Like business goals, yeah, I want to help agency owners, man. I feel like a lot of people can benefit from learning sales. It's a lifelong skill, whether you run an agency or not.
True. Yeah.
You can take it wherever you want, right? And it can change your life. And I've had people tell me this. I've had my clients tell me, working with you and learning sales, and even outside of clients, I've had people that worked with me in corporate America that were like, working with you, like you have changed certain aspects of my life. And I've had people, even when I left my last company, I had multiple people reach out to me through LinkedIn and just be like, I just want to personally thank you for how much of an impact you made on my life.
Oh,
It had
that's
nothing
awesome.
to do with money. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like, yeah, like, do I want to be a multimillionaire? Yeah. Do I want to have a nice house? Yeah. Do I want to have a boat? Yeah. I want to have all the cool stuff, but like, I don't necessarily I don't build my goals based off of money. Like, and it's so funny because my girlfriend, she has like financial goals, like how much money she wants to have and this and that, which
Mhm.
is there's no problem with that. I think it's great. But it's so funny because she'll ask me, she's like, okay, like, how much money do you want to make? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, like, like, how much money do you want? Like, where do you want to be at? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. I just know it's going to come. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's 1 million or 100 million or like whatever. I care more about how I make people feel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. But apart from these personal goals, you must have, I guess, even figures for your company, right? Scale My Agency. Like,
Yeah,
do, do,
I have it right here on a whiteboard right next to me. I want to do $250,000 in sales this year.
okay, so that's good. So what's the 5 year plan? Do you have a 5 year plan, or is it just until the end of this year so far? And is it, or do you only have the figures yet, or do you, have a plan to take the workload away from you as well? Maybe hire some people that help you with the whole course, etc.
Oh,
What's your
for
plan there?
sure. For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, to scale a business, you have to you have to be a master delegator, right? Like some of the most successful people in the world, they said the best thing that they have ever learned is how to say no, right? And how to delegate. So, I'd say like 5, 10 years out, I feel like I don't know if ScaleMyAgency.com, if the sales training program is going to be a thing in 10 years, maybe in 5 years, but 10 years, probably going to want to be running something a little bit different. I would love to get into software. I would say like financially, I definitely want to turn Scale My Agency into a six-figure a month business uh, by middle to end of next year.
Well, that's
So
good.
we're
Yeah.
talking, around $1.2 million plus per year in revenue.
And do you want to sell it then, or don't you know yet?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if this is necessarily a company to sell. I have no clue, man. My mission right now is to help as many agencies as I can scale. I want to help agencies make money. And the more that I can help other people make money, I'll make money. The more I can help other people grow their businesses, my business will grow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I know we'll check back to you in a few years. I'll hope that we can. This podcast is about the millionaire's journey, so I hope that in a few years you have helped so many people that obviously the money comes back to you anyway. And we'll have a chat then again, see how you've been doing. Maybe Scale My Agency is still around. Maybe it's doing great. Maybe it is not doing great. Maybe you've already dropped it. We'll learn a whole bunch of
It
stuff
will
then.
be doing great.
So yeah, I'll catch you up on that. But no matter what happens, I'll interview you again, and I'm pretty sure that will do great. Maybe even when we do this episode, the next episode, you will already have another company. Who knows? You never know what changes in life. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was, and that's the pod.